Hi, Stephen. Welcome to Entrepreneur Cast. Thanks for making time to come on the show today.
Hey, Sven, it's lovely to be here.
So, Steve, before we get started with the business side of things, tell us a little bit about who are you outside of your business?
Who am I outside my business? Is there a me outside my business? Yes, there is. Who am I? I'm Steve. I'm based in Brighton on the south coast of the UK. Live here with my husband and my dog, who is actually asleep on the sofa behind me. I don't know if you can see it. There's a black dog on the sofa. That's my dog. Um, that's Belle, and we have chickens outside in the garden. What am I outside business? I'm very much into the arts. I'm a trustee of Brighton Fringe, which is England's largest arts festival. I'm go to the theatre and cabaret and comedy and that sort of stuff quite a lot. I do a lot of improv comedy. I did stand up for a while, but now I tend to do improv, which is great fun. At the moment, I'm doing improv musical courses, which is so making up songs on the spot, which is quite fun. And also, I'm a keen gardener. So we're lucky we've got quite for being in the city centre, we've got quite a good sized garden. So yeah, I do spend a lot of time in my garden, sort of working on that and planning and planting and pruning and all those things.
Brilliant. Sounds like you're quite busy outside of your business as
Yeah,
well.
I'd like to be. I'd like to be.
So, Steve, tell us about your business. What is it that you actually do, and what inspired you to start it?
Well, what I do is I'm a speech coach and business speaker. So I spend my time working with people who have to speak to an audience, and that might be in a huge conference hall. It might be around a meeting table of two or three people. It might be pitching for business, pitching to investors, that sort of stuff. So I help people who have to talk to an audience to be better at it. I'm also out, as I say, as a speaker in my own right, out on the circuit, talking at events, conferences, networking do's. I do a lot of comparing and MC work. If I'm out speaking, I'm speaking about media and communications because that's my background. I'm a journalist and ran a PR agency for 11 years. In terms of what inspired me to start the business, needing some money, I think, was what inspired me to start the business. I was made redundant when I was PR director for a .com. This was in 2001, early 2002, and as .coms had a want to do at that point, we went bust, and I was made redundant quite suddenly. And I started just picking up freelance work to tide myself over, and then suddenly thought, actually, I quite enjoy this. I quite enjoy the challenge of going out and finding clients and finding work and defining my own business. And I love the self-control in terms of what sort of work I do, where I do it, when I do it, how I do it. So yeah, so that's really it was never a great sort of eureka moment to start my own business. It was necessity, quite frankly, and I think that's probably true for a lot of people.
Okay. And you just mentioned that you enjoy finding clients. What would you say is your main resource of finding clients? Is it through networking or is it through advertisement, through PR?
Networking. Well, in fact, not even just networking, but I would go word of mouth. I think when you say to people, "Oh, networking," they think of going to an event with a room full of 50 people and glass of terrible wine and horrible canapes and just lots of people passing business cards. Actually, I don't. I mean, networking I think is so much more than that. And yeah, that can work. And I have made contacts. I've never picked up work immediately at that sort of event. You don't. It's about meeting people and making contacts. And actually, the networking for me is what you do next with those people you've met or people you know, people you come into contact with. I think something I've always been quite good at is just keeping up with people, friends, but also with business contacts. So I'll just touch up the mail and say, let's go for coffee, let's hook up, make some time for that. And that's when the magic can happen, when you're out there just talking to people, making a connection, having a laugh, telling somebody what you're up to these days, finding out what they're up to, seeing if there's any crossover, all that sort of stuff. And that's just as much networking. Sitting in a coffee shop with one other person, I think is actually better networking than being in a room with 50 people.
So, you do quite a few things, obviously, with your spare time as well as in your business. What would you say your usual day looks like?
What does my usual day? Well, it's either one of two things. I'm either out with clients, in which case I tend to be in a training room or a boardroom, or I'm at a conference, speaking and that sort of stuff. So I suppose those would be my suited and booted days, although I don't wear a suit. I'm afraid I'm a jeans and smart shirt and jacket sort of man. I have to say, I think thankfully the days of the suit are over, particularly in the sort of sectors I tend to work in. But I also then have, if you like, the business side of my days where I'm at my desk. And I have a desk in a co-working space here in Brighton called the Skiff. And I have my own desk, but a lot of people hot desks. There's about 200 of us. on contracts there. So every day there's different people in, and I can chat to different people and pick up different skills. And I can, if I need help, there's always somebody around with the right skills and things. So so my days are either spent at my desk doing business development and keeping it up to date and prepping future sessions and doing all the admin, or I'm out delivering. So if I'm out with clients, it tends to be 9 to 5, full days, coaching one-on-one or with groups. Occasionally, if I'm comparing, then it'll be an evening gig. So that's the nature of it. And if I'm out speaking, then although you may only be speaking for 45 minutes or an hour, I will always try to spend the day at an event if I can, depending on travel and all that sort of stuff. But I don't like just parachuting in, speaking, and then parachuting straight back out again. I think it's important to get a feel for the event, find out who's there, talk to a few people, find out what the audience really wants, what they find useful. And so even if it's only an hour-long gig, it's actually a day's work as far as I'm concerned.
So in the entrepreneurial journey or business journey, we always come through a lot of challenges. So what would you say it was or is your greatest challenge, and how did you manage to overcome it?
Ooh, I think there's a couple. One, I on a very practical level, I had a client who stopped paying. I had 2 members of staff working on an account. This is when I was running a PR business, and client just stopped paying, and got 2 or 3 months of the sort of, we'll get it sorted, you must get a check in the post, blah, 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 sort of excuses. And then it became very clear they weren't going to pay and they weren't able to pay. And that was horrible because I ended up having to let the staff go, and I ended up tens of thousands of pounds out of pocket, and we ended up having to take them to court, and it was all really grim. But I learned a lot. I learned a huge amount about business ethics, about being much more diligent about checking people out and their ability to pay and all that sort of stuff. So that was certainly one big challenge. I think on a personal level, my big challenge is I'm very easily distracted. I can be doing something and all of a sudden something big and shiny appears over there, and I'm like, right, oh, what's that? Going to look at that. So I have to be very disciplined to keep myself doing one thing. And actually this last year or so, I've been really concentrating on the speech coaching and the presentation skills stuff as a way of focusing on one topic in particular, making sure that was really robust as a business, and then going back to do other things as well. So distraction and shiny thing syndrome is probably my biggest challenge in the business.
I actually have a similar challenge, and I really struggle with that. So how do you manage to maintain your focus?
Well, I mean, I suppose there's focus in the here and now, just in terms of focusing on this thing that I'm doing or this particular task. And I use an app on my laptop called Rescue Time, and you can tell it how long you need to be focused for. So I can say, right, for the next 30 minutes, I need to be focused, and it will then stop your browser accessing any of your favorite websites like Facebook or the BBC or anything like that. That actually just takes that distraction out of the way. I'm also quite good at just telling people I'm going to be doing this for the next hour, or I can't be disturbed for the next half hour or whatever. So there's that sort of focus. But I think long-term focus is being very clear in your own mind exactly what it is you're doing and what you want the business to look like, and focusing that on that to the expense of everything else. So you sort of have to be quite bloody minded about it and push other things out of the way. It's very easy to think, that might be a good money maker, I'll go and do that. But actually, if what you're working on is working and is starting to bed down, things, finish that, concentrate on that, get that really working, then go and look at the shiny thing in the corner.
And what would you say was your greatest success?
My greatest success? Still being in business after 15 years, I think, is probably fairly high up the list. It's a challenge, and it's tough, particularly because I am now a one person business. I have been for some years, really, since that whole client episode. And that's being in business for 15 years. I'm very proud of, and I know a lot of people sort of have fallen by the wayside, and not necessarily for bad reasons. I think people often just decide that they need to go and get a full-time job for financial reasons, or they want to work in that sort of environment. That's absolutely fine. I think my other biggest success, I was named UK Speaker of the Year in 2015 by the Professional Speaking Association. That was pretty cool. So that was amazing to be recognised by my peers, by my colleagues. Was a real boost, and I have to say has really helped my business as well.
So Steve, just for fun, I like to ask this question because we are all very different. So where do you come up with your best ideas?
When I'm walking the dog. Simple. I know that. Sometimes if I'm swimming up and down a pool, I'm thinking, but walking the dog just gets me into a different headspace, and I can, I tend to walk the dog right up on the South Downs, just outside Brighton, and the phone signals are terrible. So on the whole, I'm not disturbed. and the views are terrific, and you're just sort of either on the down under in the woods. And I just find that's my thinking space. It's quiet. I'm not being disturbed. I can just let my mind wander a bit. So actually, yeah, that for me is great thinking time. And occasionally, if I'm really stuck on something, that's what I'll do. I'll take the dog out, and she doesn't object. And go and yeah, just get fresh air and a change of pace and start thinking.
And what would you say inspires you? And generally, what's your personal philosophy?
What inspires me? What's my personal philosophy? I think there's two things. My personal philosophy would be, there's two. Two adages I try to follow. One is default to yes. I think there is a tendency for us to say no too quickly to things. If somebody asks you if they can have a coffee, I will always try and say yes. If somebody says, can I kick this idea around with you for a while, I'll always say yes, or try to say yes. If somebody says, can I pick your brain for a while, I will try to say yes. If somebody says, would you be interested in working on a project with me, I will try to say yes. Now, maybe further down the line, I say no, because actually it's not right for me, it's a shiny thing or whatever. But I think we're too quick to say no, because if you say no, you'll never find out whether there was an opportunity there. And as soon as you say no, that opportunity's gone. So I always say I will try and default to yes. I will try to make that my default answer, within a certain amount of parameters. But that's what I will try to do. I will try not just to say no, thinking, no, I can't be bothered. Make the effort, go and do it. You never know what will happen. And I think the other adage I live by, and my other sort of philosophy, is that life's too short. Don't get stuck doing something you hate, or that you really don't like, or that you don't want to be doing. And my acid test is the Sunday night thing. If on a Sunday night I'm just thinking, work tomorrow, there's a problem. Because actually, I love what I do. I'm really lucky. I enjoy what I do. I'm good at it. I have some really interesting clients. I get good work. So actually, on a Sunday night, I don't think of it as, oh no, I've got to go to work tomorrow. While another day might be nice, another day off, I should say, might be nice. Actually, I want to go and get stuck into these things, and so it's not that I'm obsessed with work, and it's not that I don't want to take time off. I absolutely do, but I enjoy work. I enjoy what I do, and I just think I see so many people who just say, "Oh, I really hate what I'm doing, and I hate who I'm working for, and I hate the clients I'm working with." Like, change it. And I got to a point about 3 or 4 years ago where the PR business had run its course, and I just got to a point where I thought, I'm not enjoying this anymore. So I knew it was time to change, and I made quite a conscious decision to move on and do something different. So I think, yeah, those are my sort of philosophies for life. Default to yes, and life's too short. Don't waste it doing something you don't like to do. So, yes, that's what I try to live by.
I don't know if that's part of the next question or not yet, but obviously you have a lot of experience in business generally and wisdom and knowledge. So what would be your top 3 tips and strategies for the listener?
Yeah, I suppose one of them would have to be, don't do something you don't like. If you really hate what you're doing, or you hate the people you're working for, go and do something different. Life is too short. It's got to be fun. You've got to enjoy it. You've got to be paid to your strengths. Don't get stuck in a rut. A change every a few years is a good thing. Don't find yourself just sat there doing the same thing time and time again. Don't repeat yourself. So I think that would be one of my top tips based on my own philosophies. Life's too short. Go and do something you enjoy. What other top tips would I give? Don't be scared to ask for help of any type. And that might be help. I've got a huge financial crisis and I'm really struggling, and what do I do? And that might be asking your mortgage company for help, or the bank for help, or it might be going to a financial advisor or whatever. That help might be, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing here, or I'm just completely out of ideas. Or it might be as simple as, I don't know what to do about this. Who can I ring? And I think, have a team of people who you can use for help. And I have a number of people who I can ring them just going, I don't know what I'm doing. What do you think? Look, this is the situation. What do I do? And they can ring me. And I think that's good. And I have mastermind groups, and I have a coach and things. And so I actually have those formal relationships, but I also have a whole gamut of people that I can work with. So I think, don't be scared to ask for help would be another top tip. And third one, what would that be? Don't do it alone. It can be lonely either as a one-person business, or if you are leading a larger business. And when I've had staff, it can be quite lonely at the top. Yes, again, put yourself in the position where you are meeting other people. So, for instance, I have a desk in a co-working space. I worked at home for 4.5 years and went stir crazy. And I need other people around. I need to be able to bounce off other people, even if it's just chit chat for a while having a coffee, and then I can go back to what I'm doing, or if it's sort of work related. But don't be on your own, and get into a place where you're going, even if you're going sitting working in a coffee shop, make sure there's other people around. But even better, get involved in groups, get involved in organizations that will support you, so that you're meeting like-minded people who have got similar experiences. And I suppose those last 2 points almost cross over, because actually those are the people you can ask for help as well. But yeah, those would be my top 3 tips. Do something fun, don't be scared to ask for help, and don't do it alone.
So, Steve, during your business journey, did you come across any resources that you could recommend that would help the entrepreneurial business owner during that entrepreneurial journey?
It's hard. I've been thinking about this since we discussed these questions, and I struggle to put my finger on any one particular tool. I have a few things. I use Rescue Time, that app that I talked about, that can help you focus and take away distractions. That's a really useful little tool. I certainly do that. I have a standing desk, at my office, so I can sit down or I can stand up to work. Great tool, keeps me more mobile, saves my back, all those sorts of things. So, there are really practical things like that. I think the other resource would be get a coach. Get somebody with whom you have a formal relationship, but who isn't necessarily personally involved or interested in your business. So somebody who is outside, you can have an external view of who you are, what the business is doing, and what your long-term goals are, who can help keep you focused and things. I suppose it goes back to the don't do it alone. Too many people just try to struggle on and think they know it all, or don't want to admit that they're having problems. And actually, a coach or mentor can just help give you clarity and can help move your business forward at a much faster rate, because you've suddenly got a second brain inputting and somebody who is supporting you. And they're supporting you, not the business. And that's really important. Whether you are a solopreneur, whether you are a business leader, you have to have support. You have to have somebody who's looking out for you, not just the business. And don't expect your board to do it, or don't expect your boss to do it, or don't expect your team to do it. You need to find somebody who works for you, not for the business.
You said a coach or a mentor. What would you say is the difference between a coach and a mentor?
Several £100 a month. A coach on the whole will be a paid relationship. A mentor is not. That's, to put it quite simply, that's my understanding of it. Others may disagree, but yeah, on the whole, a mentor is somebody you approach who does it, as a way of giving back to their profession, giving back to their business, giving back to their friends, that sort of stuff. So somebody who will, and a mentor you may not see as often as you might see a coach. A coach is somebody you can just pick up the phone to and go, okay, I need help with this. So yeah, coaching will be much more structured, and they may well have a program that you follow. There may be time limits on it, all that sort of stuff. A mentor will be a slightly more fluid relationship. And mentors can sort of come in and out of your life. So, I would say if you are being mentored, you should also be looking to mentor other people. That should be a sort of give back down the chain.
Steve, you have a lot of books behind you. Did you come across any books that you found inspirational or life-changing, or any favorite really business books, I would say?
I don't know if I found any that are life-changing or that have really sort of changed the way I think about my business. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge reader of business books. I haven't got the patience, if I'm honest. I tend to read blogs and the web. Particularly having come from a news background, I'm an ex-BBC journalist. I read news a lot and comment and opinion and that sort of thing. So I tend to focus on those sorts of things rather than sort of big business model books and things. And maybe that's my detriment. I don't know. I'll tell you the book actually that's made the biggest difference in my life at the moment. Well, there's two. First one is this book called Back to Life by a guy called David Rogers, and that's all about its back pain. And I've struggled with my back for a long time. And this completely reframed the way I thought about back pain, and has really made me challenge some of the preconceptions I had about what I could and couldn't do and what I should and shouldn't do. So that's made a big difference. Back to Life. David Rogers and Dr. Graham Brown. If you have back pain of any sort, I cannot recommend it highly enough. It's not. There are some exercises and there's some practical advice, but actually it's about the psychological way you think about pain and what pain actually is within your body. So that's probably the main one. The other one would actually be my book, and I've just realised I haven't got a copy to hand.
And that was the next thing I was going to ask you. Tell us
And
about your
I feel
book. I
slightly
know
cheeky saying
you're
this.
an author, so
Yeah, I feel slightly cheeky saying it's a book that's changed my life, but it has, because I wrote my first book last year, The Authority Guide to Presenting and Public Speaking. I ended up writing it in a ridiculously short time. I wrote the whole book in 6 days.
how did you manage to do that?
Well, I know. I mean, okay, it's a relatively short book. It's 25,500 words, so it is relatively short, but it is, it's still a sizable book. And yeah, there was a whole. The publishers asked me very last minute, and there was a sudden deadline. And yeah, it was all a bit bonkers. Luckily, I had a week free to do it when they asked. But it has changed. It's changed a lot of things for me. For me, it wasn't about writing something that's going to be a revenue stream. Quite frankly, lots of people have bought it. It's been bought on Amazon. People can buy it via my website, all that sort of stuff. But for me, it's the ultimate business card. And I know I've already picked up work, and I've picked up better paid work because I've been able to go into a meeting with a potential client and say, here's a copy of my book. This is, it's a credibility thing straight away. So yeah, that's the other book that has made a huge difference to me. Just because I wrote it and just what it's done for my business.
I still can't believe it took 6 days.
It did. I then wrote the second one, which I've just written. I wrote that in 7. So that took quite a lot.
So you've written 2 books. Can we just go a little bit more over, like, what are they exactly about?
Yeah, so the first one, which is out already and it's on Amazon and all that sort of stuff, is The Authority Guide to Presenting and Public Speaking. And it's part of a new series of business books called The Authority Guides, which are designed to be short, sharp, practical guides to business skills that you need. And to me, presenting skills are business critical these days, because anything from a job interview through to pitching to investors, through to talking to your team, through to speaking at conferences is all the same skill. It's all presenting and public speaking. So the book is a real practical how to become a good speaker and how to write your presentations, how to structure them, how to bring them to life, how to use slides, or even better, not use slides, how to deal with nerves, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's very much a practical guide to presenting and public speaking. The second book, which I wrote in November, which is out in April, although it's already available for pre-order on Amazon, which is slightly scary when I haven't actually signed it off yet. That is The Authority Guide to PR for Small Business. So as I say, I ran a PR business for 11 years, helping small businesses and medium businesses promote themselves to the media. So it's a guide on how to do that. And again, very practical, short and sharp. And it's how to find the stories in your business, how to communicate them to a journalist, how to write a press release, how to give an interview, all that sort of stuff. So it's a really practical guide for businesses in particular that probably can't afford to take on a PR consultant or agency. And actually, I think most small businesses can do it themselves. And in many ways, journalists will often prefer to hear directly from a small business rather than being mediated through a PR agent. So yeah, that's the Authority Guide to PR for Small Business. And yeah, what's really nice, I always like to give people something practical that they can take away and apply in their business tomorrow. And hopefully both books do that.
That sounds amazing. For me personally, the PR book sounds like a great fit.
Yeah, good. Well, when it's out, let me know what you think.
I will do, for sure. So Steve, you've achieved quite a lot already. You've written books, you've been running your business for a long time. What's next for you? What's your next big aim, dream, goal? And if there is anyone who is listening today and could help you to get there, who would that person be?
Oh, crikey. Okay, 2 big questions. What's my next step? Well, short term, I'm launching a PR coaching product when the book comes out in April, because a lot of small businesses who've come on my PR training courses and things then said, oh, we could do with some ongoing support. So I'm going to launch a program so that if people want to promote themselves to the media, there'll be a support group to do that. And it'll be once a month. There'll probably be an in-person group in London and then a Skype group online for people around the world. And it'll be a challenge. Every month I'll give out skills and teach people more skills and give them advice. And then they'll check in with me on what they're up to and how it's going and all that sort of stuff. So that's the short-term goal is the PR stuff. Longer term, my next plan is I actually am developing a whole new set of ideas and keynote speeches, and it's going to be another book and things around building your business and really growing your business in the same way that you grow your garden. So it's going to bring my garden expertise into it. And it's an extended metaphor, but I think there's a lot of mileage in what we can learn from the way you grow a garden, and how you apply it to growing a business. So it's all sorts of things like whether you need to fertilize your business, whether you need to prune your business, and all this sort of stuff. So that is, I've done the keynote a few times. I'm just sort of now developing that, and I think hopefully by the end of the year that'll be book number 3. I'm not sure it'll be out this year, but I want to get it written by the end of this year. So that's the next big thing, and that will then lead into a whole new set of coaching and training products and possibly physical products and all sorts of things, as well as my keynote speaking. So those are my plans. And what was the other question? If people could do one thing, what would it be? Ooh, now there's a good question. I suppose at the moment, people can. I'm really interested to know what people think of the books. So people have bought and read the Authority Guide to Presenting Public Speaking or the Authority Guide to PR for Small Business when that's out. I'm really interested to get feedback on those because at some point I suspect there'll be second editions and all those sorts of things. So I'm really keen to find out what people think. And I suppose I'm keen to know what people struggle with, particularly around presenting and public speaking. It's always interesting. People say, "Oh, I hate it." And I was like, "Well, why?" And people struggle to then say why they hate it or what it is about it that makes them nervous. So I'm just interested to get feedback on that because that's something I need to be able to tackle in the sessions I run. So yeah, I'm looking for those sorts of bits of feedback. In terms of the types of people I meet, I do a lot of work in the health, medical and pharmaceutical sector. So I'm always keen to talk to people in those sectors. And I also do a lot of work with sort of PR, marketing, communications agencies in terms of their presenting and pitching skills. So those are the two sectors. I'd be very keen to talk to anybody who maybe runs or works within a marketing or PR or comms or design agency, and anybody who works in the medical health and pharmaceutical sector.
Well, we're running short on time, so before we say our goodbyes, is there anything else you would like to share with us or advise on? Give us some extra tips.
Oh, extra tips. Oh, that's a big one, isn't it? Do you think, where do I start? We could be here all evening if I'm still not careful. Have a plan. I think that's a big one. I think a lot of people they might have a mental plan, write it down, set some goals. Even if you don't meet them, just the fact that they're there in front of you, it will start to give you structure and you start to prioritize what needs to happen now. And that's important. I think something a lot of people fail to do. I certainly failed to do it for a long time. But since I started really making plans and stretching out, so I now know what needs to happen in February, in March, in April, all the way through to the end of the year. And that will help me with my business. And yes, things will change. I get that. Some things won't happen in the month they're meant to happen in. But I know they will happen at some point, as long as they're still pertinent to the business. So that's probably my parting tip, I suppose. Am I allowed to tell people how to get hold of me if they want to contact me?
That was the last question. Yes.
Do it.
Was the best way for people to get hold of you and connect, your website, email, phone number?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm in all the usual places. So my website is stevebustin.com, and you'll find my blog and lots of stuff there about what I do and how I do it. And you'll find videos and things. I have a YouTube channel where you can find examples of me speaking, and there's lots of top tips on there in some of my keynotes. So that's if you go to YouTube and search for Steve Bustin, you'll find me. You can also get me on Twitter. I'm at Steve in Brighton. So that's at Steve in Brighton. And you can find me on LinkedIn and Facebook and all the sort of usual places as well. So I suppose the other one is email, steve@stevebustin.com. If you're interested in the books, either go to Amazon and search for Steve Bustin, or if you go to stevebustin.com, top right hand corner, there's a button for the presenting book. The PR book's not on there yet, but as I say, it is available already on Amazon for pre-order. That's probably the best ways.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today. It's been really great catching up with you, Steve, and I really look forward to seeing you sometime soon and hopefully reading your book.
Great. It's been a pleasure, Svetlana. I've loved it. I've been really enjoying it.